Hello my dear friends, welcome to my channel that is Learning and Programming with me. Today in this particular video, we will try to understand one of the very important concept related to web application development. So today we will see that how our front-end application which can be developed by using any technology, whether it can be HTML, CSS or JavaScript, or you are using an React.js or AngularJS, means your front end can be developed on any technology, and how your front end can interact with your backend. Now backend can be developed by using any technology. It can be Java, .NET, your Node.js, it can be anything. Okay, so we will see that how our front end application is sending requests to a backend layer and what are the challenges it is facing in between. That is, we will try to understand that how we can solve a CORS problem which occurs when our UI layer is interacting with our backend layer. So first we will see that how our CORS problem is occurring, and then we will see the solution which we can apply to solve this particular problem. So this is a simple application which I am creating, that is an employee management system, and this application is developed by using React.js. So let me take you to the Visual Studio first. So this is our Visual Studio, and here I have created an employee component. Now let me first tell you about our employee component, and then we will see that how we are making an AJAX call to our backend and how we are getting our data from our database. So this is our S2 database which we are using for this particular application, and this is our employee table. And this employee table consists of 6 records. So we are trying to fetch this record from our H2 database, and we will try to show these details on our UI in this particular table section. So this is our employee component, and inside our employee component, inside our constructor, here I have created an state object, and inside our state object, this is our employee details field. So this is the state variable which we will use to store the employee details which we are getting from our backend layer. So my dear friends, here you can see that this is our component did mount method, and this is a lifecycle method in React.js. As you all know that in React lifecycle we are having 3 different phases. That is an mounting phase, then we are having an updating phase, and third one is an unmounting phase. So this is one of the very important method of our mounting phase. So whenever our component is loading for the first time, then this particular method is getting invoked. So what we are doing from our component did mount method, we are invoking our backend service, right? So this is our get all employee details method which I have defined inside our common service, and whatever response which we are getting from our backend, we are storing it in our employee details state variable. And in case if we'll receive an error from backend, then we are simply printing this error in our console. And here you can see that this is again a very important lifecycle method, that is an render method, and this method is used to display the elements of our React component. And in this particular method we have defined a data table, and we are getting the value of this data table from our employee detail state variable. And here I have defined and different columns for our data table. Now let me take you to our common service method, that is and get all employee details. So here you can see that this is my common service class. Okay, and inside our common service class, here I have defined a method that is and get all employee details. And my dear friends, here you can see that we are using an Axios library to make an AJAX call so that we can invoke the backend service to get the required details of employees. So here what I am doing, I am using an Axios.get method because this is our get API. So to invoke our get API, that is to get the details from server, we are using an get method, and here we are passing an URL to get the details of all the employees. And here I am passing an header, and for our get header, here you can see that this is the header parameters which we are passing along with our get request, that is accepted language, and then the content type, and then cache control, and one more parameter, that is access control allow origin. So here when we are invoking our get API, then what we are doing, we are returning the data from our response, because the response which we will receive from our backend consists of a lot of information, but we are only interested in data part. That is why we are returning the data from our response, and in case of error it will go in this particular catch method. And here to handle the errors, we have defined an handle error method. So here I have provided an definition for our handle error method to do the error handling. So this is about our get all employee details method, by the help of which we are invoking our backend service. Let me also show you the URL which we are using to get the details of our employees. So here you can see that I have created an URL config file, and inside our file I have defined some constants. So this is our application URL, that is HTTP localhost and then the 8080 port. So this is our host name, that is localhost, then this is our port number, and this is the protocol which we are using, that is HTTP. And then this is our employee common URL. So here we are appending the application URL and that particular API URL, that is /programming with Chetan and then /employee.